Energy and the climate debate in the past Congress was a factor in the election outcome, certainly in several key races where energy interests were at play in a specific congressional district. And so the Democrats are still stung from the climate bill that they tried to push through in the House. Certainly they lost a couple dozen members who voted for that bill. And they come in with much smaller ranks, and a lot of their past champions on environmental legislation are now in positions where they don't have a lot of power, whether it be Nancy Pelosi or Henry Waxman. They're now kind of basically sitting in the back seat, watching the Republicans going forward. In the House, the Senate remains a place where the Obama administration can turn to for allies when they need a friendly audience, per se, in a hearing, whether it be in the Senate Environment Committee, where Barbara Boxer's still in charge, and she can paint a contrast to the Republicans in the House, offering sort of play a good cop, bad cop kind of a role. So, that's sort of in a nutshell, sort of where we're headed going forward. Well, Fred Upton had to tilt hard to the right to win the gavel of the Energy and Commerce Committee. He was known in a lot of circles as a moderate on environmental issues, but to win over the conservatives, the leadership, he did everything that was asked of him in terms of attacking the Obama administration on climate change, questioning the science on global warming, going after the EPA and threatening to hold hearings and force votes in the House to try and repeal a number of environmental regulations that will be moving forward, whether they be on conventional air pollutants or climate regulations going forward. So Fred Upton is in a pretty powerful spot. He's got a much larger number of Republicans on that committee than Democrats, and so any bill that he tries to bring up in the Energy and Commerce Committee will certainly move through it and to the floor, where the Republicans again have a large majority, and so they'll be able to do pretty much whatever they want to do. And Upton, who comes from a district that doesn't really have a lot of industrial interests, will probably be still walking the line that the Republican leadership wants him to, and that means fighting the administration on all of its environmental regulations, and pushing an agenda that's pro energy production, pro oil, pro gas, pro coal, pro nukes, pretty much all the major fossil fuel interests and all the major energy production interests. What kind of a bill Fred Upton is going to put together on energy, even if he's even going to put a bill through. He doesn't really need to. And it's unclear why he would push a full bill through, given the Senate dynamics and given where the Obama administration is. It's going to set up an interesting test in terms of whether or not the Republicans in the House are serious about legislating, or are they just really out to go after the Obama administration and attack the Obama administration. Certainly, Fred Upton has indicated that he wants to slash the subsidies that have been in place for the renewable interests over the last 5-6 years. Those are actually subsidies that were signed by President George W. Bush and pushed through with a split Republican-Democratic Congress. So in the sort of Tea Party movement that you'll see as the new fiscal conservative members come in on Capitol Hill, they'll be trying to cut back just on the tax subsidies that are already in place for the renewable interests. As for an actual nationwide renewable electricity standard, there's going to be a try, and maybe that is that moderate middle ground that ultimately could be reached if people are serious about legislating on energy here in the next 2 years. What exactly qualifies as a renewable will be the big test, and the Obama administration has indicated maybe that nuclear power and clean coal would constitute cleaner forms of energy and maybe would fit into that criteria. You certainly would get environmentalists who would question whether or not nuclear power and clean coal fit that category, but maybe to get a bill through and to get it through the Senate, where 60 votes is the big hurdle, you might have to cave on that particular point.